something's, yeah, I think the copper wire is stretched. I just used number 14 house wire, and it has stretched quite a bit, so I got to check it out. Maybe some more experimental work is due for this. KG7 HVR, WM6V.
Yeah, I'm using the same stuff. No, well, actually, no, it is. It's 14. It's not 12. Maybe it's 12. I have to look, actually. But I was messing with it earlier today, and it looks like it's 14 gauge. And it's solid. It's not stranded, so I just had like a big spool of it. But yeah, it really does not like to work on 40 if it's where you want it on 80. So I found if it was really, really low on the 80 meter band, it would work a little bit easier on 40. But I thought about doing the same thing like you're talking about, just set it for that and you can use something else for 40. What are you using for a tuner?
Well, right at the moment on this band, I'm using the internal tuner on my amplifier. I've got an Elecraft KPA 1500 amp, and it has an internal tuner that works pretty darn well. If the SWR gets too high, it starts to give me some problems. But I do have a big manual tuner. I've got an AT2K manual tuner that I will flick of a couple of switches here. I can cut in and then go manual. But, the convenience of the auto tuners is pretty nice. Here on 18 megahertz, when I first built the loop, it was working great on all bands, with the exception of 18, which disappointed me. So I started tinkering with the length of the open feed line. So I reduced the length of the open feed line about 5 feet or so, and now it works beautifully on 18. So if you're using open feed line, the length of the feed line is a factor. Over.
Yeah. Okay. So now when your ladder line goes in, do you have it going to the internal Balun in the AT1K or not AT1K, AT2K, or do you have like an external Balun or something?
Okay, well, from the antenna, the 450 ladder line comes to the outside of the house, which is right outside the window here. It goes into a 4-to-1 current Balun that's on the outside wall. And then there's a short run of coax that comes through the wall into the tuner. So, because, coax is pretty lofty at high SWR, so I wanted to minimize that. So that's the setup here, over.
Yeah, okay. So the reason I didn't do that anymore, I had mine like that. My feed point is 25 feet over my head, basically. This loop isn't real high. It's, so in the back of the house, there's a shop. And there's a little walkway between the shop. And I have a radio in the house that faces the shop, and then I have stuff in there. So literally, I have like maybe 20 feet of coax hanging from the air, and then a little kind of like a lightning arrestor on there, and then I can take my feed line that goes up into the eaves, and I just hook it up with a barrel connector, and that goes straight into the shack, and maybe 10 feet of coax or less. So I found that I probably had maybe 35 feet of coax or less, and it seemed like it wasn't really that significant, because for me to feed it with ladder line and then drop the ladder line down 20 feet wasn't really a whole lot. And I don't know if it would be better to just switch it back, but I've been kind of thinking about it just to kind of see.